Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I know I haven't filmed in a while, so I apologize for that. Things have been getting pretty stressful with school and everything. We're definitely ready for the semester to be over, so once that's over, I'll definitely be filming more. I thought since spring was starting to come around and it's starting to get a little warmer outside, I thought I would do an easy spring look, just a nice, natural, fresh look that would be good for any kind of everyday occasion. So if you want to see how it turns out, then keep on watching. So we got the hair all pinned back, and we're going to go in with primer. I actually brought in my makeup from school, so I actually may be able to use a couple of products or more that I haven't got to use on here in a while, so that's good. I'm going to go in with the Smashbox Oil and Shine Control Primer. Every time I use this, I ask myself if I would buy this again. I don't know, to be honest. I'm a little mixed. Part of me feels like it helps with the oil control, and part of me feels like it just feels like a silicone primer. Like, it just has that dimethicone feel. So, I don't know if I'd buy it again. I don't know. Part of me feels like you can find one that's like a drugstore brand primer that feels about the same and performs the same. My biggest complaint with it is sometimes it has this weird, I wouldn't call it greasy, but kind of like a residue. I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but it's kind of hard to find a primer that's truly mattifying, because I feel like in the past I haven't had great luck with finding one that actually keeps my oils at bay, which is frustrating. I went to Ulta recently, so there's some new stuff that I bought that I'm going to use in here, and one of the new things I got is I got the Benefit Gimme Brow from the Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, which if you saw my last video, I was interested in picking this up, so I think I got the shade. I think it was like 3.75, yeah. I was worried that I was going to get a shade too light, because in the past with these kind of brow gels, they always look really weird on me and kind of come out as too apparent, like they don't actually blend in with like my true brow color. So, luckily I was able to find one that actually matched. I like the spoolie on it, and it's easy to apply. It only takes about like 5 seconds. And it's really good for natural days when you don't want to do a whole lot. And since I have more pigmented brows and I don't really need a whole lot, it's just perfect for just adding that little bit of tint for those little sparse areas. It almost kind of has like a thing where it kind of sets them, I've noticed. Whenever I'm wearing it, I can kind of tell it kind of has like a dry down. Which is good because you don't want it to like stay wet like all day, because then it would get everywhere. Yeah, I really like it, and for 12 bucks it was a good deal. I'm going to go in with the NYX Proof It Waterproof Eyeshadow Primer. This was one that I bought at Ulta recently too. I've noticed that every time that I've done like concealer as my eye primer, it just always ends up creasing, and that's kind of been a problem I've been having lately, so I was like, I need to go and get a true eye primer that won't do that. So I got this. I've used it about 3 times now, and it's worked pretty well. I've noticed that like near the very end of the day when I'm about to take my makeup off, it's creased, but at that point I don't really have a concern about it. It's throughout the day that I'm more worried about, which it actually lasts up to, so I like it. It has a very thin consistency. It's not super thick, and once it dries down, you can't really tell it's there. So it's good that you don't need a whole lot. I just take my finger and blend it out. The one I had in the past that I really liked was the Wet n Wild Photo Focus one. That's like one of the best ones at the drugstore, but my biggest pet peeve was that it had this weird dry down that you could tell like where it stopped blending at. And sometimes when you try to put shadows on top of it, it would try to get a little bit patchy. Not all the time. It was how you blended it. If you didn't do it correctly, you could tell wherever it got messed up at. So it's just one of those things you have to make sure there's no like harsh edges, because if it dries down that way, then you're kind of ruined the look already. Since this is going to be a glowy kind of slash natural look, I'm actually going to go in with a little bit of liquid highlighter before we go in with the foundation, so it kind of has that glow underneath. I'm going to go in with the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the shade Moonlight. Now we're not going to take a whole lot of this. I'm just going to take this, take a little bit on the fingertip, go there. The stuff goes such a long way that you don't need barely any. Put some over here. The first time that I tried to put this with the foundation, I poured it into the foundation and blended it all together, and I don't know, something about it, I feel like it got too liquidy, like it was too glowy for me, for my taste. So I only put it in the areas that like I want it to be apparent. So that's like just the high points and stuff that you want to have enhanced, like the name. One place that I used to highlight all the time was up here, and then I noticed that it kind of ages you, so I quit doing that because, you know, that's kind of defeating the purpose of what you're doing. So, yeah, I'll put a little bit on the Cupid's bow. I don't want to get that sweaty lip look, so I'll keep that minimal. I'll add a little bit onto the chin. And the thing that's nice is that the foundation will help, like, dilute some of it, so it's not going to be, like, in your face beam, if you know what I mean. I'm going in with the Catrice Cosmetics HD coverage. Liquid coverage, wow. I was like, I'm going to try to film without looking at the product, and then I butchered it. Going with an HD liquid coverage foundation from Catrice in the shade Porcelain Beige. The last time I did like a natural look, I did the highlighter with this like as a duo, and it worked really well, so I kind of wanted to do it again for this video. It's that one. It's like the dropper foundation. I feel like people either love it or they hate it. I like it, but I notice that there's times where if you have like a ton of texture, it's not super great. So it's kind of one of those foundations you have to use whenever you're like having like a good skin day. Not one of those ones that can just fix anything on whatever kind of day you're having with your skin. I think the thing that's funny is that even though it's an HD foundation, it still kind of comes out natural. No matter like what kind of, like if you use like a sponge or a brush, it'll still come out looking skin-like. Especially because it has that second skin effect, so I feel like that's definitely apparent. Some life updates. I got Invisalign. I don't know if you can tell. You can tell kind of like by the shininess, because usually like when I'm filming I don't have them in. Which this is the first time I'm filming with them in, but when I don't wear them you can tell they're not as shiny because of the material. But hopefully once that's done I have straighter teeth and it'll be all good. It definitely took me a while to get used to it at first, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to sleep again with these in, but it hasn't really caused a problem, and I still sleep normally, so. I remember whenever they first told me about the braces at the dentist, I was, like, completely sold on the fact that I was going to have to get metal ones, and I was just going to hate it. But then they told me that I was eligible for the aligners, and I thought I wasn't a good candidate because of, especially my front tooth here, it's really bad. Like, you can't tell from looking for it, but it's sticking out pretty bad. I didn't think I was a good candidate for it because I thought my teeth were pretty severely crowded, but find out that they're a good candidate, so that's that. I would say the biggest complaint is like the discomfort when you put in the new trays, because each tooth with a new tray is going to be moving a little bit. So that's like with this tray, the biggest one that started hurting was this one, because whenever I put it in, I noticed how tight it was the night before. I'll put them in the night before so that way you don't have to deal with the discomfort during the day. I didn't do that for the second tray. I'm on the third tray right now. For the second tray, I just put them on in the morning. Awful idea. I spent like the whole day like just in discomfort. I had to take ibuprofen because it started to get that bad. So I was sitting there, I was like, we'll definitely not be doing this again. We'll wear it at night so it can have those hours of no discomfort when I'm asleep. So get that on the forehead. One of the other products I got recently that we'll use later on is the Beige Cosmetics Vanilla Cream Truffle Blush Palette. It looks like that. It kind of smells like chocolate too, which at first when I bought the palette I was like, it kind of smells nice. And then I look on the back and it said that it has scents. Like, well, no wonder. And the next product that we'll be using is one of the newer ones, is the Tarte Ultra Creamy Concealer, which I have some thoughts about it, and we'll get to that in the next part. But I was really excited to buy it, but I'll stop talking so that we can get into that later. Alright, so now to the concealer drama. I have the original and I have the new Ultra Creamy one. In the original I have the shade Fair, but in the new one I decided to get Fair Neutral just because I wanted something that was a tad bit not as bright as this one. As much as I love this one, I feel like sometimes it makes my under eyes a little too bright, where I wanted this to be a little more, as the name, neutral. Just a bit more toned down and more natural. Now, they're very different formulas. This is obviously more drying. There's been a lot of complaints about it not being great for mature skin or just anyone who has really dry under eyes. And then they came out with this, and, you know, me being oily, I didn't really think too much about it because I thought it was just going to be like somewhat of a hydrating concealer. I will say, for the first 3 times that I've used this, haven't been super impressed. I feel like it really creased quickly under my eyes and didn't last great throughout the day. And I even like baked it and everything and it didn't really last great. I still have the receipt. I'm like a little tempted to return it because I don't know how I feel about it. Which is disappointing because it goes on great. Like, and you can kind of tell with the shade difference if you've watched my other videos with it. It's, on camera it looks a little bit more light, but it's not. And it sucks because it goes on really nicely, like really creamy, but then it's like it doesn't want to stay in the place that it's at, and I bake it like, I don't do it like, just like a simple powder. But, I don't know. And I don't want to return it because I want to like it, but I guess it might not be suited for my skin. I don't know. I think I tried this as an eye primer and it didn't do great on that either, so it might just be too hydrating for my skin. And that's the thing that sucks, like it blends out beautifully, especially if you're going for like a natural look. But I don't know how I can make it last. I also got a new mirror. The other one I had was starting to get a little old. I've also noticed when I do concealer, I've kind of gone out of the habit of like putting it like on the cupid's bow and the nose. I don't know why. Sometimes I feel like I just don't think it's very necessary. And since we're going to be doing a natural look, I'm going to go in with the Colourpop blush. Nope, that's not it. The blush stick. And that's not it either. I keep pulling out the wrong drawer. I might layer it up with the Beige palette later, but I might not, and then that ends up being a lie. So, we're gonna take this. One thing I've noticed that really helps is if you take like your finger and like just kind of warm it up and then put it on, it helps it warm up and smooth out better. Because I've noticed if you just take the stick and just go in with it, it kind of makes it hard to blend in and moves the foundation around a lot. So I just take that and I just take both my fingers and kind of just blend it out. I've noticed that on the side, this is starting to rub off. Has anyone else had that? I don't know why, because I thought it would stay on there. But this is the shade Mini Me, I think. Yeah. It's kind of a classic pink, but it has like a tiny bit of peach. I don't know if anyone else thinks that, but it's like you took a peach and like a pink and like mixed it. Let me go back in with the sponge. It's funny because I feel like I'm a person that I think I put a ton of blush on, but then I like take pictures and it looks like there's barely any on. So then I look dead. But I don't know. Sometimes with the cream blush, you kind of don't want it to be super pigmented because that way you can build up the color rather than putting too much on. But yeah, it's a good pink. It's not like too in your face. I'm gonna set the under eye. I got the face all set. I used the Maybelline Fit Me Loose powder in the shade 05 Fair. I used up my Huda Beauty one, so I had to get that from school because I ran out of powder. So I think we're gonna hop into the eyes now. I think for the eyes, I'm gonna keep it like really simple and do like a one like lid shimmer shade and like minimal eyeliner, so that way we don't get into a whole lot of eye makeup or anything. Just kind of keep it neutral and simple. So I think that what we're gonna do is we might do a liquid, or we just might do like a powder that's like very natural. I was kind of eyeing the Urban Decay one in the shade Sin, which I haven't used this shadow in a while. It's kind of like a copper, I want to say copper. It's like a champagne with a little bit of, and I just dropped it. But yeah, it's kind of like a highlighter almost. I think they released a Sin highlighter a few years back, but we might do that color, don't know. The thing that's funny is that the glue in this, like the little compartment kind of got loose, so now it doesn't want to stay. But yeah, we might use that, just like for a really simple look. So I applied that Urban Decay shadow to this eye. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, I don't know if it's just because it blends into, like, my lid a lot, but, like, you can tell it's there, but I don't know. It feels like from afar you can't really distinguish it, which, like, you don't want to, but you want to make it look like something is there. I don't know. I'm going to put it on the other eye just to see if I feel the same way about it on that end. I was going to use a brush, but I just kind of went in with the finger because this kind of wasn't doing it justice. Whenever you're in doubt, just use the fingers. It's definitely a pretty color. I mean, yeah, I'm kind of torn on this. Because then I kind of took the edge and kind of diffused it out. I don't know. We might stick with it. So yesterday I was at Target and I was like, I need to get eyeliner. I used up the rest of mine. And then I forgot completely that when I went to Ulta the last time, I got that new, well, it's not really new. It's new to me. But I got the Makeup Revolution Renaissance Flick eyeliner, which is this one. It's kind of like a felt tip. I like it. It has a really cool handle, just kind of how it feels like an actual pen. But I got home last night and I was putting my stuff away and I was like, I literally just bought an eyeliner and somehow I completely forgot. So where's an eyelash? I'm gonna use the one that I bought yesterday because I haven't used it yet. It's the Maybelline Hyper Easy one, the brush tip liner. I actually never have tried this. It's one of those really thin ones. And on the package it says it's not supposed to not skip or like cause any kind of skipping, so we'll see if that happens. Yeah, it's definitely very thin, very precise, so I usually like to have a fine point, but we'll see how it works. We're kind of just going to do a simple line. I'm not going to do a big wing or nothing. I will say, first impression, it seems like it's kind of thin. Like the color. Like I feel like I kind of see through it. My phone keeps telling me low battery. I'm like, I understand. Yeah, I mean, like it's there, but when I'm doing this close up, I would kind of like it to be a bit darker. I mean, it's easy to put on. Like, it doesn't skip like it talks about, so it's good for natural days, too. I mean, I'm happy with it so far. We'll see how it lasts. It's kind of nice that it doesn't have, like, that constant flow. Which, if you've tried a lot of eyeliners, you know what I'm talking about. Whenever the second that you touch the brush or whatever it is to your eye, it just kind of goes everywhere. Like, it doesn't have, like, any kind of control. Which is annoying because you don't want it to just go everywhere. Like, you want to have a little bit of resistance with it so that way it doesn't just fly everywhere. And this has that resistance so it doesn't go everywhere, which is nice. It's funny because I have to like resist doing wings sometimes. Because it feels like it just automatically pops in my head when we do eye makeup. I'm like, do a wing, and it's like, we don't have to do it every time. So, yeah, I like it. Oh no, I almost messed it up. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember, I think it was like $8. That might be a lie, but I like it so far. Curling the lashes, I'm going to put on the Clinique lash primer and then go in with the Too Faced mascara on top. I really liked this primer from Clinique. It's that white one. It really helps the lashes build up, and I think you can tell a difference. And you can kind of use this with any mascara, like after you put this on. And like, it's not like a huge white cast. Like, it's not one of those things like you feel like you're putting on like paint on your eyelashes. I'll let that dry for a little bit, and I'm going to do the other eye. I've been happy with this new eyelash curler that I got that I talked about a couple weeks ago. It's from Revlon, I think. I've used the mascara that comes with this before, and it's okay, but it's not like the biggest volumizing one. It's definitely more natural, but I kind of want to build up the lashes a good bit with this look. Alright, I'm going to go in with the mascara on this side since this has had time to dry. Yeah, you can definitely, like, tell the difference. I don't know if you can see, like, looking straight into the camera, but yeah, it works really well with kind of any mascara, so hopefully it lasts, because I feel like sometimes it can kind of, if you put too much on, it'll weigh it down, but most of the time it works fine. Alright, yep, that's done. I went in with the Maybelline Sky High Mascara for the lower lashes, so I'm going to go in with bronzer now. I'm going to go in with the tried and true Hoola bronzer. I'm surprised I haven't hit pan on this yet. I feel like we're starting to get close down there. You can kind of tell the divot, but with as long as I've had this, I'm surprised I haven't hit pan yet, because I use it constantly, because it's basically my favorite bronzer, but I might retouch up on the highlighter, just like a tiny bit, just to make sure that that foundation didn't diminish the shine too much. And since this is a natural look, we're not going to do false lashes or anything like that. I think for the lip, I'm either going to do like a super natural lipstick or like a lip gloss. Alright, we're going to go with a little bit of highlighter after this. After kind of looking at the skin, I think I'm just going to leave the highlight alone. Like, I feel like we have enough glow. When you move in the light, you can kind of see it, so I don't think we need any more. So now we're going to go in with the lips. I'm going to do the Morphe lip gloss in the shade Flower Crown. I'm going to take a very tiny bit because this is kind of like skin tone color. But I didn't want to do nothing too pigmented. And then especially with my Invisalign, because of the lipstick and all of that, the lip gloss is better. Because it doesn't really transfer as bad. It's definitely a color I don't wear by itself too often. Because sometimes I feel like these kind of colors can like wash me out. But I think it looks good with the eyes. That brings us to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this look turn out. I really like how it turned out. It's just really good and soft and just perfect for every day, even if it's not springtime. So like, hit the notification bell, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And comment any suggestions you'd like to see for future videos, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.